Hey everybody, Rodman here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series about being a benevolent ruler in a benevolent society. Here are the little rules and goals of our said society, and then the projects that in weeks previous, and just last week as well, you voted for, that I am working on. So, picking up where we left off, we are deciding to focus mostly on building the permanent defenses. I want to use defenses more than killbox, because killbox sounds a bit terrible, I guess. So a little recap of what's been going on. We had a mech cluster here that got nuked. Dropped a little bit of plasteel. I just wanted to update with some tips and tricks I got. So one is, of course, I've been trolling you for a while here, and I think I've finally been found out. My stockpiles obviously didn't have symmetrical doors. Truthfully, I think the doors are best suited to be as close to the, maybe even here, as close to the center of my path as possible. To the center line. So I'm going to set those up. So yeah, they're symmetrical now. And then I'm going to put in additional granite doors, maybe here and here, leading to the transport pods for quicker potting so that you can move around here rapidly. And that was from Felix. Then Orange Chaos mentioned that non-tribals, people that do not have the background to allow them for natural meditation. Obviously, they're not going to gain. They're not going to gain anything from meditating here, anyway, because they're not psychcasters. But only natural people can charge the animagrass. The animagrass itself is highly flammable, so another really useful thing to do here. As you can see, I have this growing zone. Of course, instead of a growing zone, I'm going to make a 3-tile path around the anima tree. As you can see, there's some mud here that I'm gonna have to fix. But this is to prevent forest fires from burning the anima grass, because of course, if the anima grass burns, a lot of my progress will disappear overnight. Now, unfortunately, there's also this mud here, and what I'm gonna have to do is put a moisture pump to pump out this mud. You know what I could do? It is a little bit of, well, it's a lot of resources, but I'll do one very rapid pumping. So yeah, the anima tree is going to be unhappy about these cables, but it's to keep the anima grass safe. So the anima grass build-up, I have about 13. Soon, I suspect I'll be able to do my first side linking. So roads aren't considered a structure, as they're not targeted by enemies, etc. Setskew was the one that mentioned maybe surrounding the anima tree with something to prevent flammability. That way, forest fires like this one can't burn down all of your psychcaster progress. And Orange Chaos mentioned that only tribal background can push the anima grass growth forward. So, tons and tons and tons and tons of people, like probably unnecessary amount of people, mentioned about deadfall traps. Don't worry, guys. I kind of know what a deadfall trap is and how to make them work. A lot of tips about that. But, yeah, no, I will construct a very efficient way to deal with would-be raiders. Don't you worry. I'll start it off by having it set up as symmetrical. Another hallmark of our defenses, of course, will be uranium turrets. And we're going to have to consider what minimum and maximum range is for said turrets. But let's just continue. Of course, we are currently, the quest that we have, we're currently hosting Nako, or Nako, Nakao, I don't know what the name is. And then, of course, the Fugitive Outpost. I don't believe the planet has rendered yet, but the Fugitive Outpost that is nearby with 11 enemies that I promised to help clear. think what I'm going to do is create the tiles first and then work on the cables. Let's go ahead and make some additional granite blocks to allow for this construction project. Yeah. What's going on here is everybody's restricted to home, and because of the mech raid that we had. So Bubbaloo, you're going to be Bubbaloo Zone. Non-bloodlusts would be Bloodlust and a bunch of non-bloodlust. I think that is correct. Let me put Bloodlust in their name if they're Bloodlust. And that way I can assign it properly. It's not really about being Bloodlust or not. It's mostly about being bothered seeing corpses or not. That is the chief difference. Alright, I can also repair the zone so that everybody can go back to where the mech cluster was. So animal hauling is done. Bubbaloo zone is fixed. Non-bloodlust is fixed. And bloodlust is fixed. There we go. We still have this ridiculous landmark to remove. That's going to take a little while, I think. And I think I'm also just going to flagstone straight through a wall here. Okay, so we did queue up a little bit of hunting, because I did realize I was a little bit low on food. Meat for kibble should allow for insect meat anyway. And this should not allow insect meat or human meat. Alright, there we go. Hauling that meat back over. Alright, animals. You all should be allowed to haul again. No point in keeping all these animals if they're literally not hauling. And then grazing for the few grazers. We're also hosting Yoko. Hopefully she doesn't break up the band. So we have these wooden columns. Now, one really efficient way to set up a deadfall trap is to set up IEDs between your turrets and where... I'll just literally show you. So having it like an incendiary trap like this, people, or rather raiders, will take cover behind the columns for protection, step on the incendiary traps, light the columns on fire. Probably what I will do is a 4x5 sort of 4x5 wooden floor zone, just for more flames. And then you would have roofs that were built over this that then come down on your would-be raiders. That's sort of how they work best. There's other ways of doing it, min-maxing it, etc. This is a very fine way of doing it. Let's go ahead and trim some of these trees. Another thing I'm probably going to want to do is to prevent plant growth, because of course, in a real kill box, or defenses as I really ought to call them, trees would offer cover as well. And I don't want to offer cover to enemies when I'm trying to shoot them. So we have a psychic drone high for females. So someone like Ebernath isn't going to be bothered at all. She's deaf to psychic drones entirely, 100%. But I ought to help the rest of my people with their droning. Guest unhappy. Yes, well, that psychic drone that you hear definitely not helping. Let's see. Drink tea, drink beer. Just try to get yourself happy because I am hosting you. Now at this point, when she has very limited use, I'm just using her as a hauler. That's kind of when you're going to want to have smoke leaf or something like that. And here is an example of the drop shelves being used. Here's a realizer. Also, one thing I ought to do is remove some of these floors and delivering it to the shelf. There it is. Alright, so concrete down, like that, and then flagstone. Perfect. Alright, so this path will allow us to get to the animatree quicker. And it's also going to be a natural fire break for north-south fires, which is kind of nice. And then we'll have a fire break all around the animatree. Come on, guest. Stay out of the rain or whatever. I don't know. Soaking wet and salted. Let's see. These lavish meals, I think, have insect meat in them, so they still net positive, but here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have everybody consume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everyone consume a lavish meal out of this stack so that the insect meat gets used up. Come on, guys. There we go. Oh, no, you combined them. Bubbaloo, why'd you do that? Alright, let's keep eating. We're going to have like an eat-off here. Alright, still has insect meat in that stack. There. Now there's no more insect meat lavish meals, and all the lavish meals we make won't be tainted. My bad. It's funny how terrible that worked. Okay, so schedule. One thing I could do for our guest is just set for pure recreation. She might get bored of recreation. I think I certainly would, but we want to keep her happy. All right, fail the quest. Okay, the psychic drone ended, and she's going to regain a lot of the mood that she had lost. Okay, the animatree has grown enough grass to now link. So, let's probably not start a linking ritual at the end of the day here, because linking rituals take a kind of a long time to finish. But at the top of tomorrow, I will link Talon, because Airvanath is simply just not a valid Psycaster, being deaf and all. I will link Talon to the animatree. Animal hauling. Let's see. Animal hauling, we said let's not have them too close to the animatree. Grazing's not allowed near there either. I haven't actually double-checked whether they would eat animagrass. I don't know if animagrass is a valid food source, but if it is, I don't want my animals getting near it. So we have deadfall traps set up. One thing that we're going to need is incendiary shells. So that will be the manufacturing process. Let's do until we have 5 shells spare. And I don't care who makes them. Definitely take them to the best stockpile so that they're not sitting on the floor here. It will increase... Oh, let's allow the incendiary shells right next to the EMPs. So... manufactured mortar shells, incendiary. And that will allow us to arm the traps here. And then ammo hauling, we should just really simply not allow them around here either. This, of course, is going to have to move once I've set up the walls of my traps. Yanshui, let's have you haul some ambrosia. I'm going to go ahead and delete this growing zone as it's no longer needed or valid. Talon, you are... Alright, I'm going to make sure... Oh, you're a teetotaler. Okay, never mind. Let's go begin linking ritual. And this takes a while. So it is, what, noon-ish? As you can see, there's a progress bar under the tree. And I don't suspect it will move very quickly for a very, very long time. It is a lengthy process. All right, and then we also wanted to build the power cables so that we can drain the swamp tiles to prevent fires. Now, of course, I could have left it mud, but it would have looked, not great. New quest available. A bunch of prosthetic arms for Berserker Paws, invisibility, a half cycle or triple rocket launcher, gold, etc. Plasteel or Zeus hammer, a masterwork Zeus hammer. But we have a linked one, which is going to be better. What was else in that quest? A legendary piano, a masterwork harpsichord, uranium. Oh my god. And that's all for prosthetic arms? 16 prosthetic arms? I mean, yeah, I think what I'll do is accept... in truth, I really need the plasteel because I have a goal of, I have a goal to make weapons and armor against mechs, and that was the only one that definitely pushes that goal, whether I like it or not. So, yeah, there we go. This is going to cost us a lot of components and a lot of steel. I don't have a ton of steel, so we're going to have to get Zero to be mining it. But I feel pretty good about that. That's a pretty good a pretty good quest reward for my efforts. Yeah, as you can see, Talon is still linking. It's been 5 hours. I think it's like a 6-hour link. There we are. 6 hours. Psi link gained. So now, as you can see, he has pain block. And Bubbaloo. Yep, there we are. Perfect. So now the anima tree is going to be a little less effective because of the pumps that I'm building. So I want to get those pumps built quickly so as to not ruin the anima tree's, efficiency. Now we have all of the farm fields sown, all the ones that produce food for us. I'm going to go ahead and queue up the planting of everything else. I also might want to pick wild berries, just given the food shortage, or ration people to simple meals that are meat-based only. But I'm going to go with the berries first. Okay, now we just need to get the cables built. One thing about moisture pumps, the moment they're constructed and powered up for the first time, they will drain the location directly underneath them immediately. So I only want those 5 tiles drained. I don't care about the rest of the mud here. As you can see, there is additional mud, but that mud is outside of my 3x3 radius. So I am going overkill, building a bunch of moisture pumps so that I can instantly drain what I want drained, rather than setting up one and waiting for weeks and weeks to, well, maybe just a few weeks, but waiting a few weeks for the whole area that I wanted drained to drain. I'm going with the more expensive but quicker option. That way we can get the anima tree back to, you know, being an efficient meditation spot. Philosopher. Okay, Chris already is queuing up to haul this steel. This rat here, I'm sorry to say, is getting culled. And all that just plugged in, which means it all can be broken down. And this whole cable can be pulled as well. And I think what I'm going to do is create a temporary zone. Man, I have a lot of zones. I actually don't need to unload. Non-bloodlust, Bubbaloo zone. You know, the Bubbaloo zone. I don't really care if he's out in the out in nature, because that does help Talon build his level. All right, so Mathis, after you're done, oh, am I out of granite? Okay, all right. I do happen to have a solution to my lack of granite, which is just to mine up a little bit more of it. I was gonna tell the constructors to zone, but it looks like they're all out of other construction projects. So, hold up. Oh, Philosopher is already doing it. All right, now if we remove the, oops, that's 100% not what I meant to do. Now if we remove the bridges, it should be dry under there. Okay, our second grand sculpture to make the throne room even nicer is done. It's excellent, in fact, which is very great. As you can see here, we do, in fact, have dry land now to allow us for the 3x3. And this is just mostly for fire blocking purposes, because anima grass is flammable, and we really would not want to lose that. All right, as far as prosthetic arms go, we've got 4 of 16. This will be pretty considerable work. I don't know if I'm going to manage to get out to the fugitive outpost. The red Viper, you know, it might be worth making the effort tomorrow morning, because that would put us into neutral with them, which is a pretty significant landmark. And now the tree here is no longer blocked by any construction or anything like that. Back to normal. Continuing our need for granite, I'll just keep mining out pieces of this mountain for it. That's fine. I like how there's a tiny little granite thing out there. Okay, there's actually plenty of additional granite chunks around that I just hadn't queued up to be mined, or hauled rather. Mad Boomalo. Set it to get hunted. Ooh, one shot to the neck. Devastating. So we do have our IEDs here now. I'm going to set it to auto rearm. Then what I need to do is to build the retaining walls, build the side walls of our kill box. And I'm probably going to make it nice and wide so that we catch a lot. And we don't have a lot of, like, damage to... Well, I mean, I suppose you'll see. Alright, Inspired Trade by Faustupia. And I did mention that I would want to go crush this little bandit camp. Let's see. Bubbaloo, Talon. The trouble is, who do I bring? I bring Mathis and Yan Shui, even though they don't like each other, Chris, and Poppy. Alright, if that's the case, let's set up for that. So, Mathis, Yan Shui, Chris, and Poppy. No, Poppy, you already have an assault rifle? Yeah, you do. And Talon and Bubbaloo. I'm going to try to make it there and back in one day. Mathis, Talon, Poppy, Chris, Yan Shui. 1, 2, Bubbaloo. Alright, and then Bubbaloo's guard, which would be Angelia. We're gonna bring some meals with us. Bring the remaining milk. What else are we going to want? We are going to want some meds. And trying to think, maybe some tea. Do we have some tea? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we are going to queue up the caravan and get going. So this is for mostly just goodwill and whatever is at the camp for loot. The camp is going to be night fiends, so they're, you know, they're potentially pretty geared. I guess maybe it would have been wise to bring a sniper rifle. But assault rifles obviously have higher DPS. And between Bubbaloo and Talon, if they have really superior range, we could use Psycaster powers to sort of reduce their range superiority. We'll see. We can also leave. There's no need to fight if it's dangerous for our guys, too. You know, if it's going to be too difficult, we can just pull the plug. Might as well just build little roofs over here, too. Actually, roofs are a pretty effective way to prevent plant growth when you don't want to floor up as well. Alright, Zero, where are you? Oh. Build this later. Just focus on the money. So we're there. It's obviously not going to be a day trip. We're going to be out on the road. Okay. So they have mixed guns, but nothing all that scary or serious. And let's play this intelligently. So who... Oh, we have a sniper that wants a piece. taking down their sniper is probably the best first move. Get a little stun on so we can't get first shots. Alright, Poppy has been hit in the leg by Bolty. Bolt action rifle. I'm trying to offer up, I'm gonna just throw this one back. I don't really want to get set on fire. Alright, so enemy now neutral. We got some goodwill. We only got bolted once in the leg. I'm probably just going to seek out, rather than to harm any additional people, I'm going to seek out beds from their camp here. Their micro camp really is small. To see if I can't do some medicine indoors and to capture. No, maybe not. They might not have beds. Guess we'll see. But they do have a lot of meals for our return trip, including travel meals if we need it. Okay, here's some beds. These guys don't have any batteries or anything like that, so... Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break this down and create a sleeping spot. To try to capture the prisoner. Because one did survive. I'll probably also want to put the fire out. Just because it's going to... Oh, we have a little bit of rain, but it was just going to ruin some of the loot we got. Alright, Mathis. Yep, you can do medicine. You patch him up so he doesn't die on us. Let's go ahead and set up some sleeping spots indoors, so we're not at least sleeping outdoors in the rain. And then we'll be able to just do a quick walk home tomorrow. Title requires bedroom. Yeah, I know. Wah. Wasn't about to send a mobile bedroom for you. I think that's an agreeable. Disease infection. Got a lung infection. Alright, well. You are going to be... As soon as everyone's up, I'm going to reform caravan. I'm going to let them sleep. How is our... Okay. Over halfway done with the prosthetics. I'm going to wake them up a little early. Reform caravan. I doubt the meat's going to make it home, but waste not, want not, right? The weapons can be melted down, even if they're bio-coated. The tainted armor really isn't good for anyone. There's truly no sense in bringing that home. Okay, and we're off. The people that went on this little excursion are going to be less than happy. Of that I am fully aware, but at least they're coming home safe and sound and only with one gunshot. Lower your expectations, right? Alright, so we're still grinding away on steel, making sure that we have enough for our prosthetic construction. Here's to hoping that we don't trigger a infestation while we have very limited manpower at home. Oh, and we also have Sad Wander Talent. Okay. Barn corpses should not allow rotten, so that we can haul the rotten corpses out. I'm curious as to how that got rotten. But obviously we're going to cremate the rotten stuff. Okay, so we are T-minus about a half day. We're slow because one's downed, one's in a mental state. Love how I build a road and they don't use it. RimWorld path finding at its greatest. That's always been a general weakness of RimWorld. It's fine. I just do find it funny at times. Wow, there is a lot of predators on this tile. Once we get home, we'll hunt them, making sure to keep Yoko safe and others. So we don't want anything like that to happen. Wow, we didn't even make it home. Dang. All right. Well, Talon should probably snap out of his mental state. Oh, yeah, sure. Trade? Yeah, I'll do some trade. Let's see. I will sell you all of these weapons I got. Wow, you have a prestige cataphract helmet. Fancy. Oh, that. Speaking of which, I'm gonna need to be making those for Talon once I get a reliable source of plasteel, or finish the quest for the prosthetics, because he is due for some prestige. In fact, let's suspend, or actually cancel those queues entirely, because they're obviously going to need to be prestige armor. Well, not obviously, but should be. Now, prestige is mostly for royals, or I think that's what it was designed for, but obviously it will work just fine for non-royals. Oh, I was going to shoot you anyway, Mad Lynx, so this works out. Just making sure there's no humans near it. Alright, Karis has a medical emergency. Talon is no longer wandering around in sadness. Yeah, the infection that we had, definitely not going to get cured as we're out roaming. Once you're home, you're gonna immediately need to go into a hospital. Alright. Good, good, good. And by that I say not actually good, but whatever. Okay. The Mad Lynx is dead. I've been killing everything in one shot. Alright, caravan has arrived. You are going to be captured. As far as scheduling goes, everyone inherited their old schedules. It's fine. And if I have to amputate the lung, I will. Hopefully that isn't necessary being put into our hospital here. So let's see. You have 92, 91. Yeah, you will survive narrowly, but you will survive. Also, super addicted to everything. Not sure I'm crazy about that. You got a whole additional allotment of, you know, goods from that. All right, developed immunity. And my intention here was to release Karis Stark. Even though it's not going to build up a rep. But let's go and do it anyway. Alright, Zero. How about you finish up this chair? No, Shay. There you go. Alright, no longer incapable of walking, but I'm going to wait until she is fully healed before the release. So another thing I haven't really done yet is decide on the kill box. So let's go 15 tiles out and 40 tiles deep. So this will be sort of the dimensions of the I keep calling it a kill box, but I really ought not to. This will be the dimensions of our defenses. Do I want them wider than that? Let me just take a quick look. How many would this be? Like 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm not building them here. I'm just measuring width. No, 6 works. Okay. Yeah, I like this. That will do. Then next to that, I am going to put granite barricades. And this is so that they don't hug the wall. It keeps your walls intact longer. And maybe double it up. Okay, that's going to be a lot of granite. That's going to be a lot of granite cutting. Expand this zone yet again. Oh, some elk meat never made it into the proper stockpiles. That's fine. Oh well. Tile requires bedroom. Oh yeah, Mathis, you don't sleep here. Oh, Blue sleeps here. Talon, you don't really sleep here either. That's guest room. Let's see. Talon will sleep here. Mathis. You were gonna take the double bed, I think. Poppy and Chris. Flostupia and Shay. Okay. Yep. No, everyone's set up then. No, Yan Shui, you aren't in there either. How about I just make this for prisoners? And then you'll stop trying to jump into the wrong beds. A lot of addictions on you, huh? We have a little bit of a psychite tolerance, but no addictions. I think my scheduled drugs won't allow for easy addictions. Oh, speaking of which, ooh. Okay. Alright. That's, fortuitous that it's within my walls, and unfortunate that it is under everything, like chunks and all. Let's go ahead and shrink this zone. This is going to be a lot of hauling, but this ambrosia bush is here to stay for a bit. You know, ambrosia bushes don't go away very quickly. So we'll just queue up a ton of hauling here. And maybe set everyone to force haul just for a little bit, just to get this ambrosia zone out from under. A little bit of unnecessary hauling. What can I say? It's what we do. Let's continue making grand sculptures with Talon. Actually, just do them forever out of limestone. They make for pretty good trade good. Alright, so the chunks are out of the way. And then the blocks have to be out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that we're not sewing here. there's the ambrosia zone. And we can actually see it now, out from under the blocks. Alright, that should probably do it for everybody's hauling. And that will also do it for the remainder of my episode. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below. I am happy to hear from you all and incorporate your suggestions into the series. I hope you enjoyed this episode of clearing out a camp base and trying to set up the anima tree properly so that the anima grass doesn't get burned. We also accomplished the second Psycaster, being a tribal. We'll continue to increase his Psy link level, but at least I can mark that goal off as complete. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. Adios, friends.